Review problems number 3. This one is more tricky. You have to be careful with PEMDAS in your calculator. I'm just going to type it in as it appears here with no parentheses just to show you what happens. So that's going to be 77.2. Oops. 77.2 times 3 cubed, 3. And I don't think there's a cubed here. The way you do cubed, yeah, I don't see any cubed here, is you do math, and then there's the cube right there on number 3. You can either go down with the scroll or you can hit 3. Okay, 3 cubed. And then I'm going to divide, and I'm going to put 3.60 times 2 squared times 2 squared. And this looks almost like what's there. I mean, a straight translation of what we did here. We just did 77.2 times 3 cubed, and then we did divide, and then we did 3.60 times 2 squared. Okay? And then we're going to get 2316. Okay? What's the problem with this? Well, when the calculator looks at this problem, it's gonna look first at the exponents. Say, okay, I'm gonna do the exponent first, and then it says, what am I gonna do next? Well, the reason why I did the exponent first is because there's no p, right? There's no parentheses in PEMDAS. Parentheses, e is exponent, md is multiplication division, and AS is addition subtraction. So first it's going to do parentheses. There are no parentheses. Then it does the exponent. Then it's going to do multiplication division, but it's going to do multiplication division left to right. So this is the first multiplication, so it's going to do this first. Then it sees this division, it's going to do that next. Oops. Oops. So it's going to do divide by 3.6. And then, oh, wait a second, I forgot. We did this. It also does this exponent first, okay? And then it's going to finally multiply by 2 squared, okay? And that's the order it's going to do it when it looks left to right, okay? But actually, we didn't mean for that to happen because we want the 3.6 times 10 to the 2 squared to be done first, right? Before it, do you see what it's doing? It's dividing by 3.6, and then it multiplies the whole thing by 2 squared, but that's not what you want to do, right? You want to divide by 3.6 times 2 squared, right? So this is one of the pitfalls of using the calculator to enter your equations. You think that there's no parentheses here, but actually whenever you have a fraction sign like that, the fraction sign is saying, hey, you got to do the numerator separately, the denominator separately, and then you divide. So it's like there's parentheses here. So you can see we got 2316. Now let's see what the right answer is. Okay. And the way we're going to put it in now is we are going to put in parentheses, that, along with dividing. So we can just insert some things here. So we'll use this, but now I'm going to put some parentheses in. You don't actually need them in the numerator in this case, but it's always safe just to put them. Better safe than sorry. And then you go to 3 cubed, and we're going to put a parentheses after that, a closed parentheses. So we'll go second, insert, close parentheses. Oops. Do you see what that did? That's wrong. What we want to do is we want to put it outside the cube. So we go second, insert. Okay. And then we're going to put 1 before the 3.6, second, insert. And then we're going to put 1 at the very end. 3.60 times 2 squared. We push 1 extra right arrow. Second, insert. close parentheses. Okay, now it's going to do the numerator and the denominator multiplication separately, and then it divides the whole thing. And you can see we get something completely different. Now we get 144.75. So we're going to write that down here. 144.75 is the answer to A. Okay. Now B, it says express your answer to part A in the form A times 10 to the K, where A is between 1 and 10, and K is an element of the integers. Remember, Z is integers. So that's like saying, okay, 3 times 10 to the 8th. We want it in this form. So 8, this has to be an integer. It has to be a whole number. It could be negative. It could be positive. This 3 has to be a number between 1 and 10. So could it be 0.3? No, it can't. Can it be 11? No, it can't. That's above 10. Can it be 10? No, because it doesn't say less than or equal to 10. It says less than 10. So it has to be from 1 to 9.99999. Okay, so 3 is fine, but let's really do this problem and put it in the correct scientific notation. In IB, they never say scientific notation. They always give you this very complicated phrase here, the form A times 10 to the K, so get used to it. And if you understand this well, it really helps you understand other things that you're going to get in IB, like the element sign, the Z is integers, less than or equal to. There's a lot of things in here that you should understand already from learning the notation. So let's express 144.75 as scientific notation. And the calculator does that for you. You could just go mode, and I'm going to say scientific, SCI, get out, second quit. And then I'm just going to type the number in, and it's going to give me the scientific notation. Okay, 1.4475, 1.4475, and E2, what that means is times 10 to the second. Okay? So it's giving me the answer in scientific notation. So I'm going to put that down here. 1.4475 times 10 to the 10 squared. And if you put E2 here, it's going to be counted wrong because you cannot put calculated notation on the IB exam. You're going to have to read it off the calculator and understand it. Okay, so that's right, right? And if you want to, you could kind of test this out, see if it's right by converting it back by hand. If I'm going to multiply this by 10 squared, that is going to move the decimal point 2 to the right. It makes a bigger number, right? When you have a positive exponent, it makes the number bigger. So instead of 1.4475, we're going to have 144.75, and that was what we wanted originally. So yeah, it worked out. You can check these numbers that the calculator gives you. Okay. One estimates that the length of the carpet is going to be 12 meters and the width is 8 meters. He then estimates the area of the carpet. Well, if you don't remember how to find the area of something, if you look on the formula sheet, I think they have the area of a parallelogram, which is the same thing as a rectangle. Area equals base times height. So you could think that of as length times width also, 12 times 8. 12 times 8 is 96. You could do that on the calculator if you want to. His estimated area of the carpet is going to be 96. And what is the units for that? Well, 12 is 12 meters. 8 is 8 meters. If you multiply meters together, you get meters squared. So it's 96 meters squared. Does that make sense? 96 square meters for the area of a carpet. Okay, so then we just write that down here, that his estimate was 96 meters squared. And then we're going to go up. And now we're going to say what the percentage error is. The carpet is accurately measured. Is found to have an area of 90. So the actual answer is 90. And if you look on your formula sheet, you'll see that it'll give you a percentage error formula. It says something like the percentage error is equal to the exact value minus the approximate value divided by the, and this is hard to remember, but it's the exact value. Okay, you always got to compare it to the real value if you have it, and then you multiply that times 100%, and that gives you the percent error. I gave you I'm being a bad example because I put all this work up here on top. And whenever you work in an IB exam, you should put your work here in the working area. That's why it's called the working area. Um, it's more organized and you're more likely to get full credit for your work, okay? Then there's these answer boxes. You need to use the answer boxes to put in the answer that you think is the right one because sometimes you have more than one. Sometimes people can't follow your work. If you have the right answer, they don't even need to look at the rest because they'll already give you full credit on most questions. Okay, when the carpet is actually measured, it has 90, and you're going to compare that to the approximate measurement of 96. Okay, now we're going to calculate the percentage error. So we have 90 is the exact, so we put 90 on the top, 90 on the bottom, and then we subtract 96. And remember, we have an absolute value. The absolute value could be over the whole thing or just the top because only the top has a chance of being negative, and then you multiply times 100%. So we end up with 6 divided by 90, not negative 6 because the absolute value gets rid of the negative, right? Times 100%. So let's divide that out. 6 divided by 90. Oops. 6 divided by 90. Okay, and then we're going to multiply by 100. And it's giving me in scientific notation because I changed it. Remember I changed to scientific notation? I'm going to change back now because that's not the way we want to see it. And I will repeat. Let's see. So what does this look like? Okay, not in scientific notation is 6.66, 6.67%. On the IB exam, you always want to give 3 significant figures. So this would be 3 significant figures, at least. If you don't want to give your whole calculator display, then you give 3 significant figures. Now, what if I had just like taken this and I had done it without parentheses and just did 6 divided by 90 and then multiplied times 100? Would that work? And it also works. We got kind of lucky because what we want to go first, 6 divided by 90, that needs to happen first. And the way the calculator interprets it, it does go first. If you want to be safe, you put parentheses around 6 divided by 90 because you want that to be done first. Okay, so the last answer would be 6.67% then. Okay? And that was the end of that one.